You're watching the CoyoteMan Show Relationships. Dog bust my head where it's better to be loved and to get your head busted. Hosted by Ramsey Amadeus, Uncle Shelton, and the Coyote Man on the Coyote Man Show Network.
Welcome back to Relationships. Don't bust your head, where it's better to be loved than get your head busted. I'm the Coyote Man, and this is my co-host, Ramsey Amadeus, and my other co-host, Uncle Sheldon Coyote.
Evening.
And we got the Bust Your Head crew. We got JB on Wise. We got Shaw.
Hello.
Sizzle.
Sizzling
And
shot.
we got Jackie, the mistress of comedy, the soul slasher.
That's what we doing. Hello.
That's what we doing.
That's what
The
we
day is a
done.
little different. We doing a show and we're going to be talking about what are they right or are they wrong. So, we're going to play my girl. I love watching her show, Just Pearly Things. And we're going to play some clips from our show. And we're just going to answer, is the person right or wrong? And if they are right or wrong, why? Right? So this first person we're going to play is, she's a modern day woman. And Just Pearly Things said, the reality that modern day women face, right? So we're gonna bring her in, and then we're gonna listen to 2 clips of her and then see if she's right or wrong. So you can bring it up. Here we go.
You're gonna be happy 60 without a family by yourself?
Yeah, because in the world I can do a lot of things. I can travel. I can if I cannot have my own baby, I can adopt it. I can have a pet. I can do whatever else. I'm not just a bloody baby machine. Honestly, I'm not a baby machine.
You're gonna be happy.
So
Every
we're gonna
woman
listen
need
to
a
one more
man.
section of it.
It want to step out. Like when we are 30, that's my value. When you say, oh, you're not 20 anymore, so you don't have any value. No, my value is that I can stand by my own. I can pay my bills. I'm independent.
Okay.
And this is because I'm 30. Because when I was 20, I was probably looking for a man to, help me out in, just to, in order to grow. Every woman.
A woman who's got a low body count, who doesn't go out, and who looks good, and it will get challenged.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stop there, and we're gonna just deal with what the lady said. She's pretty much, I guess, an independent woman. She's actually getting up there. She's not as young as she used to be anymore, and she feel like, and they told her in a previous clip that they was just explaining to her, not because of her age, that she has no value. They just saying that your value is not the same place it was when you was actually younger, right? And and from their standpoint, I guess they believe that she's delusional. So from what you heard her say, we're gonna start off with Uncle Sheldon. From what you heard the lady say, the 2 clips she actually said, do you think she's right? Or do you think she's wrong? And if you think she's right or wrong, why?
Now, some of it, she says she's independent and she can make money, and so there's some truth in it, but it depends on what question you asking, because in some instances, I got different reasons why I'm looking at women at different ages. There's some 20-year-olds that I ain't want nothing to deal with until they was like 35. Now, that could be some other reasons going on there. That could be that meeting ain't seasoned quite right yet. Their mind ain't quite together. They ain't got stuff going on. But the older women, the only thing that I probably would say for us from an older woman is the fact that you might not be able to do the acrobats like I need you to do. Maybe, not guaranteed, but might not move the same, might not be able to do, might not want to do some of the same things as that 20-some-year-old version was, So, there's some truth to what she's saying, but it depends on what you're looking for or what you're trying to do.
Now, I ain't gonna answer the question, but being that these are clips, I'm gonna take you further into, before you stop answering the question, I'm gonna take you further into what this was about. Okay, so they was explaining before then a woman's and a man's value, right? And when they're the most valuable, right? Now, this is an independent woman that believes that her value is in the fact that she has a job. She can pay her own bills. She's not thinking about her body count. She's not thinking about one of the statements she said it quick. So I don't know if you heard it or not, but she said, I don't need a man. Right? So that was a part of
that's bullshit.
Her whole view. That's why they call her a modern woman, because a modern woman is the opposite of a traditional mindset. Now, do you have anything else to say before we go to the next person?
Yeah, that's utter bullshit, because you can have all that, but that job and that money ain't gonna keep you warm at night. They ain't gonna make you feel good. That make you feel good while you there and on payday. But there's a lot of stuff that stuff can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Now I don't know if you heard Kevin Samuels, but he said, buy a dog and live alone. Die alone. Now, one thing that she actually said was, I have a cat. So she pretty much bear witness to what he was pretty much saying. JBR?
I'm gonna go with right along with Uncle Shaw say. It depends on what the individual's looking for. You know, it's some that wanna just settle down and just, you know, they just happy with self and they don't want to, you know, have to deal with another person in their life. And then there's some that wants to share their life with someone special. So,
you know, a lot of times I see with these women, right, that talk like her, she actually wants somebody. It's just the fact that she's the person that she wants. She no longer wants her, because that's what this conversation is about, because she is unable to capture the guy that she actually wants. So she's saying, if I can't get this guy, you know, the guy that she actually wants, because the guy that she wants is this six-figure man, this guy, and because she didn't got past this place where her value was super high, she got about 1,000 bodies on her. This guy that has access to the world don't necessarily want her. He don't want the independent woman. Those guys that have that type of money don't want them. They can choose any woman they want. Why would they choose somebody that say they don't need them? You know, that goes against their nature. So she does want a man. Most of the time when you hear a woman say she fine by herself, even when you hear a man say they fine by themselves, most of the time what that means, translation, is that I am not able, I know a guy, I just say it like that cannot deal with women because he never had enough relationships to even learn how to deal with women. So if they present difficulty, he can't handle that difficulty. He gonna cuss them out. He going, and then he'd be like, I don't need to be with no woman anyway. Because certain things about him don't even function anymore. And then other things about him, he cannot handle no type of, and I'm not just talking about an unruly woman. I'm just talking about the basic things that women take you through. He can't even handle that because he ain't even been in enough relationships to even deal with that. Where you might have been in a relationship and might have had a bad one, might have had a good one, pretty much know if it get bad, you can say this or you can say that. That's what this type of man had to deal with. When you're dealing with a woman like this, here's a woman that when she's a beautiful woman, but her feminist mentality makes her ugly to men that has options, right? So maybe a guy that don't have no options will just look at her and be like, wow, she fine, until they deal with her, you know? And then they be like, oh man, this girl is beat up inside. She's starting off by saying she don't need me. You know, she's starting off by saying, I'll buy a cat because she not gonna deal with the average guy. And then the guy that she really wants don't want to deal with her. That's the problem that she's facing. The average guy pick her up. Because the average guy just waiting for somebody to get nice, that looks nice, until he find out what he's dealing with.
That's if she look nice.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, she come in with the wrong attitude.
Yeah, she look nice. She does look very, very nice.
She look
but
good?
yeah, she's beyond looking good. You know, especially for her age.
Okay.
She put it like this: she's an exception.
No,
hold
on, player. You said she look good for her age. That's a red flag.
That's a red flag right there.
That's like saying she got a good personality.
Well, put it like this: you would like the way she looked until she opened her mouth. Because most women that talk that "I don't need you" stuff, they bring that type of energy to the forefront because they're not going to talk that to a man that they value. They just going to marry him and divorce him so they can get his money. Rams.
I mean, the thing what I hear is individual mindset. You know, like I said, it depends on the goal. Like okay, that's cool for right now, right? But what happens when you 50 and you 60? Right? That's limited. Like anybody can say that. It sound cool, right? But as humans, we was put here to socialize and to have families. Right, so anybody that say that, that's an offstruck from your nature already. We was put here to multiply, right? So to say you don't need a man or to say you don't need a woman, I mean that's against life right there. So that's cap to start off with, right?
Okay.
You know, I would say further into that, you know, we talked about people being lazy. Right, not wanting to work on self.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, you know, it's a lot of disagreeable energy out here, right? So people like to stand in that as opposed to finding out what it needs to cooperate with other individuals, male or female, because the person that say that probably don't get along with it. You know, they the same ones that say, oh, you know, I don't got women friends neither. I only hang with, you know, and vice versa. I think a disagreeable person is a disagreeable person. Right, so I think that's one thing. You know, a person got to get into, becoming agreeable, learning how to cooperate, learning how to work well with others. This was what we learned at elementary school. Some of us that how to work well with others, and then you got the people that had that too, and it was mine. All mine, you know.
That's right.
And it's the same thing we see in the growing up phase, you know, where a person doesn't want to work well with others, but that's how you progress in life.
That's right.
That's how businesses, corporations, what cooperate is a part of that, right? That word in itself, you know, so in that, you know, as an individual, you really have no power. I mean, you know, it sound cool for a sound bite. In an interview, or when you go home by yourself
with your cat,
you cooking your microwave food, you eating it by yourself,
you killing yourself,
you Netflix and chilling by yourself. That ain't cool when you going to sleep by yourself and you waking up by yourself. Like I said, if somebody can take a scope on the real life after a person, you know, parade all that individualism, it ain't cool when you know. I mean, I get it for the grind. You know, if you in your grind, I get it for a certain period of time. But even that is to be able to get to a certain place so you can meet a certain type of person.
But you know, Ramsey, that's the thing that's been happening to the women. They've been grinding during the most valuable part of their life, where most nationalities, that's search for family at this time. So at the time where they're the highest valuable, right?
Right.
Most people are saying, I gotta get my husband during that time. Because during this time, my value is up here.
Right.
And that's not saying that when you get older, you don't have no value. That's just saying that you a new car when you're 23.
Right.
You know, and after 23, some stuff didn't happen. There's been some miles on the road. You still about to be a nice car. An old Chevy is a nice car. People like driving an old Chevy, but it's an old Chevy. You know what I'm saying? It's not the new Tesla.
Right.
You know? So it is what it is. As soon as you take the car off the lot, you know, it's depreciate.
Right.
You know?
So it's like either you gotta find ways to upgrade yourself.
That's right.
or you gotta deal with the reality of what it is. And and connect with stay in your lane.
And the thing is, what you just said, stay in your lane. The thing is, the lane that she wants no longer wants her, because that's a lane that she's supposed to have got when she was the highest level of value. And now somebody that's decent but don't have maybe that money, or somebody is decent that might not have that height or whatever she's looking for, 6 figures, 6 inches, whatever she's actually looking for, 6 feet, she might not get all of those things now, right? She might not get her nice guy, but now he's strong too, because she's at a place where, hey, she might have to deal with the average guy.
Right, but even in that case, like you say, even at that age, still had to have that awareness of knowing that and to be an agreeable. Like you can still be in your youth, in your prime time, but have so much, negative energy.
Yeah.
A part of where you're just unattractive.
If you had a feminist mindset at age of 23, you're not 23. As far as those men are concerned.
And I think that's the modern frequency. It's just anti-family. So that's the narrative that's in most of the women's brain and even in the men's brain, where they not connecting with the opposite sex the right way. They look at them more as a tool, or like I said, that medicine piece we talked about, just to get by. You cool for whatever sex or whatever, but I'm not trying to build a family with you.
I got you.
Man, don't get me wrong. And even that, we talking about the selfish mindset. They probably don't even think about children. Like, I gotta take care of children. I'm trying to travel the world. I need to pay. I gotta feed them.
That's what's been happening to them. They think about all this stuff. I heard Andrew Tate. He pretty much said he had a grandmother and 35 children came out of her, including him. He said, so we all sitting around her, and she's 96 years old. He said, can you imagine that? She got a whole family around her. All these people that came from one person, they loving her, and ain't nobody asking her how many men she had, what job she had, how many clubs she went to. She said, when you start getting in age, none of that stuff matters. And she can actually say she did something beautiful. She created this whole family, and she got a whole bunch of people that love her, and she's not going to die alone. They're going to be all around the bed.
And in that sense, your value won't diminish with age, because you're sitting right in your value. You're sitting right in your purpose for that matter. You know what I mean? That's when once you get disconnected from what we was put here for, now your value starts to decrease with time.
Whoa. So before we go to Sean Jackie, I just want to say this. Make sure y'all check out Just Parallel Things. We are actually using her footage. I love her. You'll love the show. It's a great show. Just make sure you check out Just Parallel Things. You can download Just Parallel Things. You can actually go to IG. You can actually go to YouTube, Just Parallel Things. Sean, what you feel about what the girl was saying?
Well, I don't think it's a right or wrong. I think the way society have it, it's nothing wrong with being independent, but I think people take it too far. It's already to be independent, it's already to make your own money and do things, but I think everybody needs somebody, and when you get in 40 and 50, you can't just live off your looks, and so it's just sad. And I think what it sounds like to me is she had a past situation. She sounds bitter. A lot of women that break up or something go wrong, well, I'm done with men. I'm just going to do me, and they're swearing off everything. So it sounds like she went through something that she hasn't healed from. That's one of the things. And she did mention and said she's not a baby machine.
She's not a baby. She's not a baby machine. Because they told her. Let me tell you why. Because they said you're reaching a time, right, where the type of men that you're actually looking for, you won't be able to produce children for them. Right. So we're not telling you you're down in value, like you're less of a person. They said it's just certain biological things that men of that standard looks for, right? So once you get on that level and they can choose anybody they want, and you want to be chosen by them, and you come in automatically non-submissive, non-cooperative, I don't need you.
Combative. See, more combative.
Yeah, right. Only a guy that is average that did not check you out is going to take you. A guy that's average will look at her and be like, oh man, she fine. He'll be lucky to have her because he don't know no better. And he'll wind up getting himself, if he don't have no sense, caught up, caught up in that suckery relationship. And she will destroy him because she does look well, but she don't have nothing to offer. Because when you have that independent mindset, I heard this woman say, she says, I don't tell men that I'm a strong woman no more. She said, I'm interdependent. Yeah. She said, because of the fact that she said, when you start using those words, strong and independent woman, you don't get no help. You wind up being just like a man. Nobody cares. If you say you can't afford to pay your gas, electric, nobody cares. You can't afford to pay your rent, nobody cares. This guy jumped on me. What did you do? They were shooting at me and my wife. What did you do? Nobody cares. Jack.
So I'm not going to say her answer is right or wrong. I guess that's the space that she's in right now. But speaking from my standpoint, right, I've been married before for a very long time. In the space that I'm in, yes, I want companionship, right? So I'm not going to be to the point where I'm done because my marriage didn't end well. I'm open to dating and stuff, but the mindset for me to say I don't need a man, that would be a delusional statement, because I do want the companionship. In terms of even being, I wouldn't even use the term independent, but I can take care of myself. But it doesn't mean that I'm not open to sharing my world with someone. Yeah.
And taking care of yourself, we gotta look into that, right? Because it sound good right now, but when they was actually locking us in our houses, and that eventually somebody would be coming in your house to get food, can we really take care of ourselves? You can say, well, I got a gun too. That's not gonna save you against men with guns. You need somebody up in your house. You need Rambo up in there.
Nowadays you do, yeah.
You need Rambo up in there. And the thing is, I don't think, this guy said once on a talk show, he said, we really devalue men. He said, they said the greatest thing that a person could do is to produce a child. He said, that's the greatest thing a person could do for a family. He said, but no, I'll tell you this. The greatest thing a person could do, the most valuable thing in that relationship, is a person that protects you, that actually literally saves your life. And because of the fact is, your life ain't necessarily challenged at the moment, you're not thinking about this. But if somebody, if the ship was going down, the only people that's getting on the lifeboats is women and children. They're sending you off. If somebody was to break in here right now and pull guns, y'all would look directly at the men.
Right. So it's not to say that, I understand all of that. I guess the point that I was making, while I'm not closed-minded to getting into a relationship, I'm just saying in the space I'm in right now, I'm not even sure that I'm ready.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You still snatching souls. Okay.
I'm not even.
Just a little bit, just a little soul here.
A little soul here and there.
But I'm just overall, I'm open to companionship, right?
Jackie ain't doing nothing. Jackie ain't doing nothing. I'm just playing around. Jackie, the only mistress I know that's halfway a virgin. But,
ain't that some shit?
but listen, we joke around, but that's the reality.
Shelter, don't laugh too hard.
But I wasn't even saying what I was saying directly towards you. Yeah, I was just pretty much saying that we don't really. It don't get real until it get real.
Oh, that's right.
I agree. So we're gonna go to something else. Okay.
A woman who's got a low body count, who doesn't go out, and who looks good, and it will get challenged.
You can't have it both ways.
I'm with you. It gets challenged.
You can't have it both.
So
and the thing is,
instead of listening to what we want, you have to challenge it, and then you get confused about why men stray. A woman who's got a low body.
At 53, I'm looking good. I can get any man I want.
Like, when she's saying men will go for a younger woman, the stats are there that men are more attracted to younger women. instead of looking at it and saying, okay, well, that's just the truth of the matter. The same way short men accept women like taller men, women need to accept that men have certain standards, and that is what the facts are. Like when she.
So we talking about delusion right now. So and sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow, depending on what stage you at in your life. But to me, it's not, because it's like I know what stage I'm at in my life, and I understand truth from falsehood. And I think we're dealing in a make-believe world, and regardless of how you feel, we got to get down to, we got to test our own self from truth and falsehood. This stuff he's saying is not based on what you feel. It's just based on facts. And how you feel about it, you can feel any way you want about it. But when you start getting into delusion, then you start saying other stuff that people were actually saying out here. Uncle Sheldon, what do you think about what he said? He's just pretty much talking about the reality of what the average man's standards are.
I can't disagree with that being there. I mean, granted, I can't say everything is for everybody, but
you got to
probably but yeah, I mean, because I mean, the reality is the reality. You know what I'm saying? It's like we could be shallow now, whatever you want to call it, but it is what it is. It's like it's just what it is. I can't really dispute that, but so much. It's like, yeah, I got the things that tickle my fancy. Yes. It's like, yeah, you could be fine as wine, but the second you start talking about that, I can do all this and that. I don't need you. Look here. I know my wife don't need me, but she wants me highly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fine with that. If I was to leave today or whatever, she would handle it. She get it done. But she wants me here, and she treats me as if she wants me here. Maybe sometimes I tread that line a little bit, but for the most part, she really wants me here. And it's kind of like, you gotta put all that crap aside. The thing that gets me is the fact that, okay, what are we trying to prove here? It's like, you ain't making yourself look no better saying you don't need anybody. You know what I'm saying? You making it look worse than if you were vulnerable saying that you need everybody, to me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, what am I doing here if it's like you could take me or leave me, what am I doing here?
Well, let me ask you this question. Shelton. If all of a sudden 5 men charged through your door and bust through your door and kicked your door down, right? And they plan on killing everybody in the house, who's going to defend that house?
Me and the little one.
Okay, so you and the little boy.
No, my bad. My oldest boy, he'll get in there.
He'll get in there.
I think he'll man up, get up in there.
Okay, so we got to look at this thing seriously. They need us. It's just the fact that the necessity hasn't kicked through yet. That don't mean they don't need me. Like, say, it's been some times where I can cook my own meal, right? I can cook my own meal, but I need Sonji to cook, right? I can cook my own meal, but I need Sonji to cook, right? But I know how to do a lot of things, right? But I can talk on this mic and bring that mixing board up here and a computer and run this whole show, but I need Javion to be exactly where he is right now, right? And so I try not to put softness on it, because I believe that women start to see how much they needed us through the pandemic. They couldn't just do without us. See, the do without us talk is because it's another man you can call. You can call the police. You still calling a man. You can't survive without a man. You gonna call the police, the fireman? You calling somebody. You know.
But that's why you shouldn't even play like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because the fact is like, and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open. I don't hear dudes talking about I don't need women unless they float that boat. If you know what I mean. If they float that boat, if they like Todd over Tisha, yeah, bro. But you ain't hearing no normal dude, no regular dude saying I don't need no women. I'm tired of it. No, we put up with that. No thank y'all. I love all. Get me wrong. I love all y'all. But we put up. You know what I'm saying? On some other stuff, we done through some things too. You know, we done had some situations where you said it's mine and it ain't, that type thing. We ain't throwing all y'all out. I don't care how bad it get. You know, we done heard some things, but we don't throw y'all all out. But it's commonplace. I don't need a man. I can do it all myself. I understand you strong. I get it. But you ain't all there. That ain't necessary.
And they're not really strong. Because strength is feminines.
Yeah.
So if they don't have feminines, they not strong, because when they get into that masculine, they get destroyed. Now, thinking about that whole process, you know, when they get in their masculines, you know, and they said, okay, I don't need you. That's a cop-out. And I want to say something. You said that you don't hear men saying they don't need women. And that's true. That's the rule. That's the majority. But let's talk about the exception. Where the exception is not the rule, but let's talk about the exception. The exception is a group of men, a small group, but it's a group of men that never really had that many women. And these men has never developed a way to communicate with women. And when women are difficult, they don't know how to handle them being difficult. So they just say they don't need them because they unwilling to do the work. Like Ramsey said, some of us had to do the work by default. We actually messed with some scallywags from Scallywagsville, and they pretty much taught us, you don't say this, you don't do this, you move like this, you move like that. But some men has never had that challenge. Soon as a woman give them a challenge, they cuss them out, and that's it. You know, so, but what you was talking about was the rule. You can't judge things by the exception, but I do know some of that exception. JBN?
Well, just going off the clip of what he was saying, I kind of agree with him, as he was saying, you know, as the older you get, you know, the tolerance, you know, if you're more combative and you want to, man has standards as well. Yeah. And then dealing with that, you know, coming from an older woman, like, your tolerance is not going to put up with it. You know, you're just going to just, like, look, you know, that's why we look, when you look at an older woman, I'm looking for something that's easy to get along with. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for that drama and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you ever see them memes they always put up, like, around the holiday season, or I got this PlayStation 5 for you, shorty. You know, the older woman to go buy the PlayStation 5 for the younger man to try to trap. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it kind of made me think back to that and everything. It's just like, yeah, as you get older, and it works both ways too. You know, to the older man, you know, like, hey, his value is going to come down a little bit. He has other resources to attract that younger female. So.
Yeah, so my son, I'll say this before we go to Ramsey. My son is naturally physically fit, right? So it makes no difference how physically fit I make myself. Look-wise, my son is physically fit younger than me. Mm-hmm. The only difference between a female and a male is a male reaches his dominance of value at 50 and 45 because his dominance and value is judged by his resources. So women don't judge him the same way we judge him. She want a nice looking man too, but he's not judged on what he look like. He's judged on what does he do. And she's judged more on what she look like. And then we say, what she sound like, what she act like, blah, 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 blah. And then we start actually going and thinking the same thing. The woman works from the resources. And then she says, well, how he look. Yeah, you know, and then she start going down. That's where it goes, Ramsey.
Yeah, and I guess that's the whole thing, you know, like you said, the The women are born with their value.
Yeah.
Right? The men have to earn and gain their value through time. So normally we got a lot of hiccups, a lot of fumbles in our young years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not ready to pretty much lead for the most part, right? Most of us, not saying all, right? You know, but that's the value is gained over time. And I would say that the first, before the age, right, I would say the peace and the femininity comes into play, right? Depending on what side of the spectrum that falls on, right? But when you think about an older man choosing a younger woman, it's for various reasons. One would be the childbearing.
Yeah.
You know, because of course, within age, that's something that would make it more difficult with an older woman, right? Two would be the innocence, the lack of experience, right? And even that can be, depending on that age, that don't even make a difference sometimes now, right? but we just going off of, statistically, right? So that he can impart his thoughts onto this younger woman and hopefully that would be something she would join on to a lot more easier, having less experiences, having less things to challenge him with.
That's right.
Right? Based off of her own experiences, right? But that's what we talked about before in the upgrading, right? Now, if somebody recognizes this and is able to
upgrade their mindset,
self, right? Then you can make yourself more valuable if you can offer that piece. Now, if he wants the child and you can't produce that, then I guess there's nothing that can be done there.
Yes.
But let's say he's at the state where he has children and he doesn't need a child, but he needs peace.
Yeah.
He needs somebody that know how to cook. And sometimes younger women don't want to cook.
Yeah.
Right. So I see what he say, but I mean it's variables that go to that.
True.
Right. And everything is a changing factor, but peace that never leaves.
Yeah.
A man is always in search of peace. Mm-hmm. And he always wants somebody that can cook a nice home cooked meal.
Yeah.
Those don't change. Those are what I mean? Those are but the age factor can sway. Now, Grant, don't get me wrong. It's a point where the age, you off the cliff at a certain time, right? And now, I ain't gonna lie, I seen this raw foodist, right? 70-year-old woman that looked amazing. Mm-hmm. That can throw some 20-year-olds under the bus because she took care of herself and the body, and she put life into her body. We live in this death culture where we put that to the point where they could be 20 and be all looking crazy, like don't nobody want that 20-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to put it on age. It's more about that self-love and that peace. I guess the peace that you bring to yourself can represent the peace that you bring to other people. And chaotic people, they chaotic by themselves, to themselves. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think?
And just thinking about the peace factor, right? I'm going to say a lot of women today don't know how to bring peace to their person. And that's where we're lacking. I think that you have to always be able to provide peace and a safe space for your person. I think a lot of times we're so focused on maybe things and I need him to do XYZ in a sense, but we're not talking about their need from us. So we go into these relationships making empty promises a lot of times, or thinking that you could build, did she get your attention? Ooh. Okay, all right. Yeah, so we go in with a false notion that we could build to this point, but you can't if there's not open and honest dialogue between the two. I think that before entering into a relationship, both parties need to be clear on where they are, what value they can bring into each other's lives, and I guess leave all the pretense to the side, because if you can't be openly honest, it's not going to work.
And as we're about to go to a break, Shaw, what you think about it?
Well, I think I can admit that I was one of them rah back in the day. I'm word for word, we going back and forth. But as I got older, I'm like, this ain't worth it. I just want peace. Like me and my husband now, he'll say something slick, I'll say something slick right back, and next time, like, what you want to eat? Like 30 minutes later, I don't have time for the argument and going back and forth no more. I just can't do it. And I do agree with the peace, but there are some men that like the younger women. As they get older, they want a younger woman. I know someone personally. He's like 57 and had a baby with a 22, 23 year old, and she's giving him hell. And I told him, I said, leave it alone. Because it's just the mindset is different when you in your early 20s and here you are 57 with grown kids. It was a mess, and
where was he at in his life financially?
Well, financially he was doing good. He was good, and then what happened? That he got sick, and then when he got sick, and everything just went spiraled down.
Yeah, because you can't mess with somebody younger to you if you're not keeping yourself healthy.
Right.
And then on top of that, if you want to mess with somebody younger, you have to go and get somebody cultured, because their mentality is different. They used to dealing with people like Asians. Asians look for older men. They're not. That's just a regular thing for them.
Okay.
They not looking to be with a 20-year-old or 35-year-old because they understand more the nature of what they dealing with. But anyway, we're gonna go to break. Then we'll come right back.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing, education, and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the CoyoteMan Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
Hosted by Ramsey Amadei, Uncle Shelton, and the Coyote Man on the Coyote Man Show Network.
And we're back. I'm the Coyote Man, and here we go. Here we go. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna look into another sound bite. So let me bring that up. Now, Shaw, was you finished while we?
I was finished.
Okay. Let me see while I get this other sound bite in. We got here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see who I sent this. So, Uncle Sheldon.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see what this is. Okay, let's put this in.
Girls' night happens and my chick were to go out, she would message me 10, 15 times throughout the night. I'd pick her up, she'd be home. So the fact that your chick went out for a night out and vanished for the night is already a massive reason. If she ever does that once without being told, then you should be able to say to her, look, I'm uncomfortable you going on nights out and staying somewhere without telling me. I want to know where you are from now on. Why? You're insecure. I'm not insecure. I'm a man. If anything ever happened to you, you'd call me. I like to know where you are. You should tell me. If If she goes, fuck you, I won't ever tell you where I am, do you have control of that relationship? No. Responsibility and authority are linked. The reason the captain of the ship goes down with the ship is because he has responsibility for the ship. If he says, man the sails, people man the sails. If he says, man the sails, and everyone ignores him, how can he be held responsible? If you want me to protect you, if you want to come to me with all of your problems, then I need authority over you. How can I allow myself to fix all your problems when I have no authority to prevent problems in the first place? That's the first thing. Second, why is your chick going out without you?
What if it was like a girl's night?
Understood. So if a girl's night, then my chick.
So how do y'all feel about that? He's talking about having some type of authority, being in a place to at least say to his woman, "Hey, no, you shouldn't go there." You know, and he was saying, I guess they was into a discussion about, I guess she was going out, you know, without him, you know, and then it could be a dangerous situation. Like if Soji goes somewhere without me, and I know she going into a place that I wouldn't necessarily go, you know, in my mind, I'm already thinking I might get a 911 call. If I think it's just straight up terrible, the place she going, I'm a pretty much say, I don't think you should go there. You know, for the most part, I try not to do that, but being I'm the one that's going to have to be the one that is going to be going down with the ship, like you pretty much say, if I don't think it's something that she might be able to safely get out of, then I ain't feeling it. But what you think about that, Uncle Sheldon?
Yeah, I mean, if okay, let me be real here. A lot of times, you going somewhere you ain't got no business going. Let's just be real about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm long time ago. I was with this girl, and this mofo, because I'm gonna say something nice. This mofo, she was going to this club, and this club, I would say, regularly has stuff going on. Or she say she's approached inappropriately at the club. And the next thing I said, and you still go. You know what's going to happen, yet you still go. I don't like you going. I don't want you going. Now, I'm not the type of person that I'm trying to babysit. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, what are we really doing here? You know you ain't got no business going there, because every time you go there, something pop off. But yet you still want to go. It's like, and then, now granted, because we wasn't that deep into it, it wasn't like, she gonna call me first. I'm gonna find out, I mean, quickly, but not as to do something about said situation. But I'm gonna be pissed if I got to do something about a situation that your little hand ain't had no business going to in the first place.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? There's other places you could do, other things you do. You can't have it both ways. Because if you're expecting me to have bail money, if you're expecting me to come in karate chop somebody, if you're expecting me to come there with whatever I need to come there with to get your behind out the situation, then you got to say, okay, I'm gonna be here. In case something happened or whatever, give me some, something, and then I can do what I'm going to do. I can't. You can't expect me to get you out of a situation I know minimum. I don't know if you attacked her or she came at you or he came at you. I don't know none of this. You ain't said what it need to be said, so how I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. It's an unreasonable ask to give me half information and expect me to be, equalizer in the situation. I can't equalize Jack. First of all, where are you? What do I got to do? Do I got to bring people with me? You know what I'm saying? Do I got to call the boys, or call them boys? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't know what I need to bring to the situation.
Gotcha.
Let me know what I got to bring to the cookout. You know what I mean?
Got you. So JBL, what you feel about that?
Well, I feel off of what he was talking about was that it should let you know where the communication lies in your relationship.
Yeah.
If your partner is willing to communicate with you where they're going and everything, because like you said, when you walk outside that door, you don't know what you're going to run into. We wish nothing bad or anything like that, but I mean, when you decide to be in that that situation with that partner, you kind of take on a kind of responsibility for their safety and everything. So say what something does go down, I should have some answers. You know, even the family. Hey, where did you know what happened? They want to know. And if I'm coming back like, well, I don't know. She just going out like, well, what was y'all together for?
Right.
So, that's where I stand with it.
What you feel about it, Ramsey?
I mean, I was taught you can only protect what you can control, right? True. And that's on every level. If you can't control your children to that degree, you can't protect them. That's the degree. I mean, you can't control them. That's the degree you can't protect them. And the same thing, especially if it's something that you're going to be held responsible for, right? Like you said, if your woman goes out and something happens and the family comes to you, you can't hit them with the, I don't know. You can't struggle your shoulders.
Right.
So
what? Now you in danger, depending on that family, right? So to that degree,
Does everybody know at that point you have control? It's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question when danger arises. Like it's cool when it's all fun and the sunlight and it's it's bubbles and all of that. But as soon as it get a little dark,
when it get real,
where was you?
Right.
Where were you at?
Yeah.
It was depending on me. I didn't know where you was at. Right. But so when that thing, in the communication, that's communication. And I say, silence, screams volumes.
Yeah.
In a lot of different cases, right? So if the relationship is off, that silence will speak volumes on that relationship being off. Because what is the reason why that's not being conveyed? There's either a lack of respect.
Oh, absolutely.
There's either a lack of respect there. Maybe she doesn't feel that he is a protector.
Yeah.
Or in that case, right? But either way, that should be an issue that's handled, that's dealt with, that's communicated. Because I feel like, and that's not even on one, that's on both sides. But even though it's more so on the other side, because we are set to be the protectors. So in that case, is at the very least, okay, I know where you at. I know what time I expect you to be home. And if that environment isn't a safe environment, I should have the right to say, we shouldn't go there.
That's
right. Neither one of us. And that should be honored.
That's right.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
So what you feel about it, Sean?
Well, communication is the key. Communicate. If I'm going out, I'll tell my husband, I'm like, look, this is where I'm going. And if he come out, now he's from the streets, he's like, oh no, I don't want you going to this location. I'm going to respect. I'm like, okay, this must be really dangerous. I'm not going to go. And at my age, I'm not going to, I have a certain mindset of friends, and I'm not going to be out with people that's out there partying and that's in all kind of mess.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of girlfriends that was really tight, but we kind of part away because she's still living that life. Now, if she need me for anything, certain things, I'm there. And one time I was out with a couple of girlfriends, and she called me, come on down here. She down in the projects, and she actually cheating on her husband or whatever. And come on down there, Lynette. Cause they down here trying to jump me. I'm not going down nobody's projects in the middle of the night to fight. Maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago,
Right, okay.
I ain't about that no more. I ain't about that life no more.
I get you all this some stuff.
I don't want some knuckles up. Right.
Now, if it's something to my husband, my kids, I probably, that's a different story. But I don't entertain none of that stuff. But we have good communication. And I respect his opinion. He said, no, that's not a safe. I don't feel comfortable. I won't go. And he already know most of the time, if it ain't certain stuff, I only go to certain things anyway. I don't do like certain house parties and, I just got to do family stuff. And
I got you. You keep it safe.
I keep it safe.
So the mistress of comedy.
So I used to ask if he mind if I went out somewhere, right? Because I wasn't going to go if, we weren't on the same page. But I always had a little entourage when I did go out. So I loved coming home knowing that he was going to sit up and wait to hear about my evening. So
that was nice. That's so sweet.
Really?
I tell my husband, I need you to be up when I get in here.
No, I did. I really like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I just in my previous relationship, I always respected his opinion because he was the protector. So if he said, "Nah, I don't really feel comfortable with you going there," then I'm gonna honor that and stay.
Got you. Now we got one more question, right? I'm gonna play this clip once I can get to the certain part of it.
So your primal instincts are coming in, mention here that I find it really amazing, the fact that he's so honest, that he's so raw.
Now, I'm now a female dating coach. From the masculine side, I'm now on the woman's side. Women?
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today
It's changed in quite considerable ways. So we're going to talk about those ways. The first way my life has changed is that I no longer...
Someone, you can hit someone.
It's for their safety.
Yeah.
I've lived a difficult life, and I don't like people running at me. I don't like people...
Just put a mask on.
I'm getting nervous already. I live on edge. I've had a hard life. Now what happens when I go out? I'm just stating a fact. By time number 87, hey, can I have a photo?
So he was just talking about
get up from my table. I can stay in my house. The whole world's talking about me anyway.
He was talking about
probably they feel like they should.
She was talking about how people actually run up to him to take photos. He was saying after the 86 photo, it gets kind of tiresome, you know. He said, but he don't like people running up on him because he was from the streets, you know. And he's just not used to, he don't know when somebody might be running up. But that's I'm trying to find something
that the man has. So I can totally understand, like,
Hey, I'm about that.
Now, this person talking, is he a celebrity we're talking about?
This is one of the most popular men in the world. His name is Andrew Tate. So,
he already understand that, the paparazzi, they get paid for those photos. That's how they eat.
Exactly.
That's part of the lifestyle he chose. I mean, you're a celebrity.
But he also a boxer, you know what I'm saying? So his mindset.
Keep your distance.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny because I used to be a correctional officer, and then when I left there and went back to a regular call center, and you so used to, because we was taught to keep your hands above your waist because you don't know what's going to jump off. So I'm in the call center walking there, I'm just like this, hands above my waist, like ready for something to jump off. And then somebody came in my space and they was about to get taken down, out of reflex. But that was just funny what you said.
Wait, I got a same story just like that. I was training with Tori and we was sparring in the boxing ring. And when I went home to take a nap, I'm like throwing punches like out of my seat. I was just like, it's fighter's reflex.
Bring it up some because I gotta find something.
Found him, please. Why don't you say I haven't been anywhere, Andrew?
Okay, here we
I'm an empty to sit there and pretend she's done these things or to have done.
Back in the day, I was dating someone, and I have to say, I felt really bad. So obviously, I cannot compare acting like that.
Okay.
You're a beautiful woman.
All right, here we go.
You're 19, you're 20. You're beautiful. If you were soft-spoken, if you were kind with a good heart and a nice person, maybe funny, cool. That's all I expect of you. I don't expect you to have my kind of money. I'm a 35-year-old man. I don't expect you to have done amazing things and been to a load of places, nothing. I don't expect that. In fact, it's probably the least attractive things a woman can do is to sit there and pretend she's done these things or to have done these things. All the real G's out here know. When you meet a chick and she's like, I've been all over the world. I've been here, I've been here, I've been here. Any real G's sitting there going, oh, for fuck's sake. How many trains? How many threesomes and hostels?
Come on, no, come on. And that's sad.
Okay,
but it's the truth.
I'm gonna take you.
Can I just?
So
one more
he has
second.
a
I'm gonna
point
let him
here.
finish. All right.
That guy does.
So
like, what's cool about that?
Nothing.
So one thing he was saying, he has, of course they got these expensive cars.
Yeah.
And he let a lady get into his car. And when she got in the car, she was like, oh, I've been in one of these before. It's not my first time I've been in one of these. And he was like, that's the most unattractive thing in the world.
And even if it was true, I wouldn't say it.
He said, because he said, so when he started giving him advice, he said, first of all, shut the F up. He was like, you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
You haven't been with anybody and you haven't been anywhere. He said, you don't need to impress me with what you have done. He said, women, you want my advice? I'm going to give it to you. Because when you telling men you've been in all these fancy cars, You've been to all these places. The only thing they thinking about is how much penis you have took. He said that's the only thing on the people of his caliber mind is. Yeah. He said, you're not impressing us. He said, what would be very impressive is if you would just enjoy yourself. Yeah. Don't say you've been, he said, you ain't been nowhere. He said, and I guarantee you, Kevin Samuel said it like this. He said, that's how an older woman mess up. Mm-hmm. He said, the reason why they look for the youth, he said, because if we try to take you here, you already been. Mm-hmm. If we try to buy you a house, you said, this ain't your first house. He said, if I try to take you here, you already did that. She said, so nobody of that caliber gets that type of money to feel like they can't do anything for you. He said, Darren, he take a girl to Miami, a young girl to Miami, she ain't never been. You know what I'm saying? She ain't never had a new house. She ain't never had none of this. And these people that reach that type of money, they want to feel like they doing something. Shoot, even if you don't have that type of money, the average man want to feel like he doing something. Right. You know? So if even if you took that out of the side, that's just nature.
So let's say I've been to Miami, right?
Okay. I
haven't. Right, and I get that, but I haven't been with you. You know what I'm saying? So it would be a different experience.
I understand that, but shut your
that sounds good.
Up, because all I can think about is what you was doing in Miami.
That's where your mind is.
You already been.
So, but I'm just saying, like, I get that, right? I don't think that you should come to the table and say, oh, I've done this and I've done that. Yeah. Allow that man the privilege of feeling like a man. So if he want to take you somewhere, even if you've been, I wouldn't say it. You know what I mean? Act like it's your first damn time so that you both can enjoy it together. Yeah. But in the same token, you can't go into something and not think that people, because some people are well-traveled. And does that mean that because I'm well-traveled, not me, but in general, that we can't build on other things? I haven't traveled the whole world. So does that mean there are no places that we can't go?
Jackie, we talking about you though?
No, I'm saying, I said,
soul.
Right. So I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm asking a question. JB on. Didn't I say there has not been right. There has not been any soul snatch.
She ain't snatched nothing. But in truth, this is our last question.
Okay.
And truth, you know what I'm saying? Later on, you can tell people what's up. But he was talking about, okay, these women are trying to mess with a man of their standard.
Yeah, okay.
And of that standard, if you really want to get in, don't offer all this unnecessary information. And this woman was offering it like, see, she still believes, she still believes that her money. And he said, y'all like to boast about other men things. She didn't say she had that car. She said she was in a car. She was in cars, and they trying to think he knows the men that he roll with. If she's in the car, it's a strong possibility. You know
that's the younger generation. When she said she was about 19, 20, that's the younger generation. You know, and that's the mindset. Yeah.
But in those cars, the older generation legs up too. They up too. They up too.
If they could get them up.
They up too. If they can get them up. They can get them up.
Yeah.
So, what you think about that, Sheldon?
It's of no benefit to say certain things. It's like, okay, I know you've been in a car or two before. You know what I'm saying? It's like because to me it seems like it's kind of like when you tell somebody about your business venture, and they refer to as that little thing that you did. You know, it's like certain things you don't need to say. Even though if I'm talking about my lemonade stand, I can't go to Michael Jordan and be like, yo man, you know what I'm saying? This lemonade stand popping off. Yeah, I expect it, you know, I know, you know what I'm saying? But for him to say it, it lets me know how little of me he thinks, you know, by him saying it. So it's not necessary. It's like, especially if you're dating one of them girls. Okay, she know how to operate the door with no instructions whatsoever. Yeah, yo, behind been in one of these before. Been in a few of these joints before. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, I ain't just fall off the term truck yesterday. You knew how to get me to invite you in this mofo. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know you've been around a block at least a time or two. I know you did some things. You done been in the hot side of the pool. I understand that. I don't need to be all that. Oh yeah, you know, I've been home. I've been okay. You can. It's kind of like when you tell your kids, you know, well, we went to McDonald's. We going again. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Right. It's like you don't need to say. You know what I mean? It's unnecessary.
Notice what he said. He said that I don't really care about the money that you have. Only thing I care about is that you're nice, you're cooperative, you're fun, you're funny. I don't expect you to have anything else. Javion.
All I got to say on that, yeah, she might have been in the same car before or whatever like that. No, I've been in this car. And I just come back, well, that car ain't had the same horsepower as mine. I'm coming with a Hellcat.
Yeah, and he worried about the horsepower that she already
cool. You got caught with choke.
Okay.
So, Ramsey.
I mean, it goes back to what we was talking about earlier about the experiences and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Especially if it's done in a boastful way, right? Like the same things that give women value is not the same thing that gives men value. And sometimes I think that's what's being construed, where it's like, okay, you're trying to show, hey, I got the same, you know, experiences you have, and it's like, no, that's not. No,
that's not attractive.
That's not right. That's not what's going to make a man want to rise to the occasion, right? Now, granted, let's say, we ain't saying live. You've been there before, right?
Yeah.
But even that it's more in the nature in which you bring it. Now, if you bringing it to the point where you bringing some value, like, oh yeah, I've been here before, but I you know, like, okay, maybe helping them out on, oh yeah, this may be something you like to eat right here, or something that'll still bring value to the situation. Yeah. Not to the point, oh yeah, you know what I mean, almost like you know, you kind of competing with them passively. Now that's not going to do it. But if it's like, oh yeah, I've been here before, yeah, you might want to try this. I know you like this type of stuff. Then maybe you might change that situation around. If you know what I mean, if you're adding to and still bringing peace to the situation, we go right back to the peace in the way that things are being conveyed.
But what if the values start turning into like you're being schooled? Like you feel like you're being schooled in the situation.
That's what I'm saying. As far as if women is trying to school a man.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends if now, like I said, it still depends on the way it's being done. If he needs schooling, I mean, like, let's not, like I said, don't say nothing to make him make a fool of himself.
Exactly.
Right, like, whatever brings peace. Now, if you're just trying to outshine him, then that's a problem. No matter what the case is.
Because it's a way that you can say some things without having to express that you did it before. See, this is a new guy. See, this ain't somebody you done been with for 5 years. This is a new guy. And when Andrew Tate said the best advice I could give you is shut the hell up, right?
I guess we gotta be quiet.
And I really understand, because I put myself in his situation. A man of that caliber wants to really give you the world. So the more he give you and the more you like, oh, this is wonderful. He gonna do more and more and more. If you start saying stuff like, oh yeah, I've been here before, he's not inspired. Right. He's gonna find somebody
what you want.
He's gonna find somebody else that he can show the world to.
Right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Just Pearly Things, and that was Andrew Tate. We enjoyed your company. Thanks for actually listening. That's the end of our show, but that was fun. You know, whether they was right or whether they was wrong, that's up to you. We gonna do some more of this. I think it was fun. See you next week.
Hosted by Ramsey Amadei, Uncle Shelton, and the Coyote Man on the Coyote Man